It's John James with Icarus Welding. Today I want to do a little presentation on the CG30 series track torch. I want to go over the features, operations, and controls, drawbacks, and then we'll set up to cut some plate. So first of all, this to me is a knockoff of the cricket style track torch. They're imported from China. I bought it from eBay, including the 6-foot track and everything that you see here recently for $332.50. You can make your own decision about whether you think it's worth that after you hear what I have to say and see it in action. So let's talk about the controls. I'll just pull back to give you a big view. So here's the track. It comes with a 6-foot piece of track. And this is forward and reverse. This is your speed control, where you'll set your inches per minute. This is the fuse. This is the plug for the 110 power cord. This is just a pilot light. And this is a clutch, if you will. All the way to the left is stop, and to the right is drive. Stop and drive. The input hoses do not come with it, but it does come with these two fittings, two hose barbs. This is not a standard B-type fitting. This is 1/4-inch hose, and what I did was take the factory supplied hose barbs, which were a little bit too big to slide into the hose properly, and I just put them on the belt grinder and thinned them down a little bit, and then they slid in, and then I crimped them with my gas hose crimping tool, which is a handy kit to have around. It has 3 control valves. This is your high flow cutting oxygen. This is where you set your oxygen flame for your neutral flame. And this is your acetylene hose. And this will also work with propane, and it comes with a propane torch tip, which is a nice feature if you use propane in your shop. The arm here controls using this knob, and there's a rack and pinion. Using this knob, you feed the torch in and out. And then there is a fine control for in and out here. You raise and lower the cutting head with this guy. This is the actual cutting head, and it's a solid piece of brass that accepts they are G02 torch tips, and they're very easy to change. It comes with a number 1 tip, and I ordered, and I'll talk about that, I ordered extra tips for it. So the torch body slips in there, and then here is a calibrated scale that lets you set the bevel. And right now I have it set for 22.5 degrees of bevel cut because I was cutting some coupons, beveling some coupons. These are the G02 series cutting tips that I have for the torch. This is the G02 double-aught, and then I have a single-aught, a number 1, and a number 2. And it also comes with a propane cutting tip as well. which is a little bit of a different cat. To make this easy to connect to my tanks, I made a pigtail using the factory provided hose barb at the valves, and used my hose kit to crimp on some standard B fittings for oxygen and propane. And then I added some flashback arresters that I had laying around. And these are Koike quick connects, which is what I use for all of my torches. With the clutch out of gear, the whole unit slides effortlessly along the little track, which is a steel track, and it has two raised bars that the wheels drive on. On the side, I should have mentioned, this is a heat shield that keeps the torch heat reflected off of the drive unit itself. The drive wheels are the large wheels here, and then it has two swiveling wheels at the back that just follow along the track. No drive there. Back a little bit. We're in neutral. Okay, just for the neutral flame. That looks good. Okay, we're going to run the carriage along to do a preheat. I've got the bevel set at 22.5 degrees. I'll run it back. Okay, we'll heat the edge. That looks good. Put the speed on 2. That looks like a good clean cut. Happy with that. I'll take it over to the vise and we'll get a close-up and we'll hit it with a wire brush. So here's a close-up of our cut plate. I'm going to hit it with the wire. .15 degrees. So you've had a chance to see the torch in action. Let me briefly go over what I consider the negatives of the CG2 system. First of all, it uses the G02 torch tips, which are, I believe, a metric style. They are readily available on the internet, however, and they're sturdy and work fine, but they're not a standard. The hose barbs, as I mentioned earlier, are a metric connection. It does come with the fittings and hose barb, but I had to grind a little on the barbs to get them to slide into my 1/4 inch welding hose. Again, not a big deal, but it takes a little extra time. The track itself is not heavy or sturdy and has to be treated, I think, with a little bit of care. It's not going to do well being tossed around in the back of a welding rig. It is easy to straighten or align, and I did take all the paint off the track so that the unit moved more slowly, and that seemed to help with the cut quality. I think the cut quality can be excellent. You're going to have to spend a little time dialing in the settings, and that's true with any system. The value proposition is certainly there, and I'm pleased with what I have for what I spent. Would it hold up to everyday fabrication shop? I would say no. But if you are a small business welder, don't use a track torch all the time, or a hobby welder, I think will certainly suit your needs. With many Chinese tool systems, parts can be a problem, and it does come with a part list, but I haven't made an effort to contact the vendor or manufacturer to see what kind of spare parts are available, and that's always a concern with import systems, particularly the low volume ones. The owner's manual is rudimentary, but it's a very straightforward system, and maybe this video will help those of you that are considering it, and if you do end up with one, maybe it'll help you shorten the learning curve for learning the CG1 system. Thanks for tuning in. I'm John James with Icarus Welding, and we'll see you around.